Let's read again from 1 Peter chapter 1, starting on verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, the chosen, living as exiles dispersed abroad in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, chosen according to the foreknowledge of God the Father to the sanctifying work of the Spirit, to be obedient and to be sprinkled with the blood of Jesus Christ. May grace and peace be multiplied to you. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because of his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and unto an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you. You are being guarded by God's power through faith for a salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. You rejoice in this, even though now for a short time, if necessary, you suffer grief in various trials, so that the proven character of your faith, more valuable than gold, which, though perishable, is refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So, we're talking about the living hope, and we ended this morning on what were we talking about, DJ?
If your hope is not in Jesus, you are beating against the air.
You're beating against the air. Okay. We're talking about Jesus as our living hope. And we were mentioning that hope is actually a universal experience. Everybody has hope. And it is what we say gives air to your soul. You can breathe through hope, because if we are hopeless, then there's nothing that will capture our imagination, that will move our whole being. And I was talking about the play Annie, and then we apply it to ourselves. Our hope is applied to our future career, falling in love, getting married, having children, sometimes having vacations. So, without hope, our life becomes dead. I think I illustrated before an Indian chief in this country, and he said, "I've seen it all," he said. And he was still young. And he said to this minister, "I'm ready to die. My kids are grown up, and we are secure in our, how do you call that, where you put the Indians? Reservation. We are well provided." So he said, "I'm ready to die." But he's young. I think he's in his 50s. So the minister, knowing his role in the community of faith, said, "You mean you have no more purpose for living?" "No," he said, "I've seen it all. Gone through all," he said. "I'm ready to go to heaven." And it seems like he could not stop this chieftain from dying. Because, by the way, you can will yourself to die. When a person becomes hopeless, there's no more purpose for his being, you actually die. So this minister was struggling, and suddenly he said, "But sir, you did not see it all." And he said, "Have you seen the Eiffel Tower?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "A tower in Paris. Have you seen this?" And he began to whet his appetite by have you ridden an airplane? And so, "What is an airplane?" He said, "Well, it flies, and you don't use the horse, you don't use the car, you fly." And he began to salivate over these experiences. And said, "So you're telling me there's a lot more in the world that I have not seen, gone through, and experienced?" "Yeah." And said, "I want to live some more." Yeah. I mean, there is hope. That's why there are some people that you will notice, and we see this with people who have gone through a lot of despair. They walk around lifeless. And I hope none of you is like that here. They just walk around lifeless. There's no more life. They're just living day by day without future to look forward to. But that is because a person lost hope. Now, to hope, so you begin to say, "Well, I still hope." Well, again, we have to avoid falling into despair, because a lot of people start with an imagination, a dream that By the way, as an immigrant here, I think I can safely say, those of you who came here as an immigrant, not those who were born here, but those who came here as an immigrant, we have hopes. We have dreams. My dream was to further my education. I never had a dream to stay in the U.S. There is no, I don't know if you'll get it, there is no attraction in the U.S. for me. None. I'm not attracted to cars. My wife and I were talking yesterday about some of the sites in the Philippines that people go for vacation. Man, they want to go to, by the way, I have nothing against this. They want to go to Boracay. They told my wife, what is there in Boracay? People are excited about, I don't know how many offers we have to go there for free. And by the way, Ann's brother, he's got a property there. So he keeps telling us, go there. There is zero attraction of that thing for me. Just zero. That's not me. That's not my goal. That's my dream. It is, sexy cars means nothing to me. It doesn't attract me. There's just none. By the way, we have a beautiful house. There is no attraction there for me. If I can throw 90% of what we have inside the house, I think it will make me happy. But there is just none. There is none there, you know. So, because my hope is on something different. I hope to fulfill God's purpose for my life. And the moment I'm done, I want to go home. That's it, you know. I think this property that the Lord is finally giving us is something that makes me want to live longer. And after these things are being finalized, I told the Lord, I'm open to it, Lord. You know, I have no control over my life, but I said, I'm really open to it. Please make me strong. I told God, make me strong, and I don't want anybody changing my diaper or anything like that. I told God I want to be able to die with all of my faculties intact and all of my mobilities intact. Not as fast, perhaps, but that's all I want. It's because really, Pastor, do you feel at home in the U.S.? No, I don't. I just don't. Some of you are very comfortable here. I'm not. Okay? But that is because I have put my eyes on something more than this. I do not put my hope in the U.S., nor in politicians, nor in money or in wealth. My hope is in Jesus Christ. So what He wants for me, that's what I want. Now, I would like to follow up with this point. If you don't want to fall into despair and you want to realize your dreams, and by the way, nobody here is too old to dream. Okay? Sometimes we just don't know how to dream. It's like eating. Nothing wrong with desiring the best food, but some of us don't know how to eat. Yeah. We really don't. We think that we have to finish every food that we see. That means you don't know how to eat. Okay? There's a time to eat and there's a time to stop eating. So the Bible talks about a time for this and a time for that. That means you have no self-control. There is a race that was done in, I think it's in Baguio City. And foot race, how do they call that? Marathon. And there's this native there that was very good in running. I only read about this. And he's barefoot, but he's fast. I mean, you're a mountain guy, you know, so a lot of us in the Philippines, if you don't have shoes, you can really run barefoot. And there is a marathon, trained runners. So this guy said, and he has no coach, this guy said, I'm going to win this race. I'm the fastest in this mountain. But he's competing against the well-seasoned runners who have all the gadgets, the shoes, and everything else. And so I don't know what maybe they were in the teacher's camp or something, you know. And they're going to go so many turns. And this guy prepared himself and ran like a lightning. I don't know how many laps they're supposed to take, but he ran like Speedy Gonzales, you know. And he passed them once, he passed them twice, he passed them 3 times, he passed them 5 times. And he was wondering, I'm passing them so many times. These runners are not panicking. They're just running, steady speed. But then he realized he started running out of air. And so they passed him once. They passed him twice. Until they passed him 10 laps. Yeah. Everybody was done. He was still running. What happened? He doesn't know how to regulate himself. You see? If you are going to run a marathon, you don't go full speed. This is not this is not a 100-meter dash that you take for a few seconds. You don't do that. You pace yourself. You see? And he lost. He was the fastest runner in the field, but he lost miserably. Finally, a few crowds left to cheer him on so that he can finish the race. But they clapped when he finished because he was almost dead when he finished the race. But they were waiting for him to watch him finish the race. But he doesn't know how to run. So some of us don't know how to study. You know, we think we wait for the last minute. So we hope to finish our school well, but we don't know how to study. We have no idea what studying is. We think it's just finishing the homework. No, that's not studying. Your brain cannot handle it. Have you had, when you drink too cold, you have brain freeze. Have you ever had brain freeze when you're studying? I mean, your brain just goes into coma. You read all of this, and then you're dead. I cannot take it anymore because you don't know how to study. And so let's apply that to dream. Let's start with this. To hope is to look for something that we can grasp or we can handle. True living hope, true dream is to look for something that we can grasp, we can handle. Going back to Peter's description that this is a living hope, this means that we have something that is not dead, that is not futile, that is not illusionary. What we are running is a race, a life race, more than a marathon. So we are not beating against the air. That's what Paul said. We are not shadow boxing. We are really hitting something. Therefore, you have to regulate yourself. That's why a guy who goes from amateur boxing to professional boxing doesn't go into a full 12 rounds. You will see that the professional boxers, when they join the professional rank, they start with 3-rounders. And then they have 5-rounders. And then they go into 10-round fights. Why? Because even though you're a professional now, your body doesn't know how to handle it. If you go there swinging like it's only a 1-round game, all that your opponent needs to do is to wait, and you will be dead after 3 rounds. Not because you don't have the skills, but because you don't know how to fight. It's a long term. It's a long haul, Russia right now, the European says that they have manufactured in the last several months more than all of Europe in ammunitions. Because they thought Russia is getting a disadvantage. They're crazy. Russia is a big country. It has this massive production arsenal. And yeah, they may lose 700,000 or 800,000 soldiers, but that is a dictatorship. They can tell the men, you enlist or you're dead. Now they're gaining strength. It's a long battle. They were surprised on the first year, but now I think they're getting their traction. That's called a long haul. In the meantime, this Ukrainian guy thinks he's got it all. He's got nothing. He's on life support. U.S. pull out the intelligence reports, delay some ammo supply. What's happening? They are beginning to realize that no, this is something that we're not ready for. You see, your hopes, your goals are real if it comes from God. But do you know how to live it? Yeah. A lot of preachers, they run out of sermon after 2 or 3 years. They don't know how to do it for the long haul. I'm in it for the long haul. I study, I read, I build my library, I keep reading, I keep studying. Therefore, I have a lot of deposits. Yeah, I have a lot of deposits. I'm in this for the long haul. I can keep teaching until God takes me home. I'm in it for the long haul. Okay? Some of us doesn't know how to dream our dreams. Are you taking on something that you can grasp? There is a saying that you don't bite off more than what you can chew, right? There's a saying like that. Have you seen people eat? I remember I was laughing because this was at the beginning of my ministry with Pastor Jinho. We have a lot of good times. And we are having communion in Dumaguete. And Brother Willie was doing this loaf thing. You take from the loaf. We are used to this. So kumukurot lang tayo. You pinch a little bit, so you take a little bit, this, the loaf bread, you take a little bit. Because you have to remember, why a little bit? Because the drink is this small. I don't know why we keep calling it biblical. It's not biblical, okay? Biblical communion is a real meal and then a real glass of wine, So we even just drink juice. So we're just trying to copy a little bit. Because can you imagine if you have 1,000-member congregation and you have to give them a glass of wine? You will run out of money, And then you exit them because there's a new one coming. They don't exit, they're all drunk, So you don't do that. So Pastor Gino is joining us for the first time, and it was hilarious. Yeah. So the bread was passed on to him, and he took a whole bunch. My mistake, I did not coach him. He was sitting beside me. Oops, and then the drink was passed, a little thing. And then Brother Willie goes, and you know how Brother Willie is, you know how he does communion. Let's partake of the bread. He took the thing, and let's have the juice. We're all done, and he was still. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to focus on the Lord. I could not focus because it was really hilarious. Yeah. He doesn't know. Yeah, because this was his first communion with us as a group. Next communions, he knows what he was doing. You see, he bit off more than what he can chew. Now, you want, for example, to be an engineer. Hey, start learning basic math. Yeah, start learning basic math. Know how it is to add 1 plus 1. Because you cannot go on advanced calculus and advanced math if you don't know basic mathematics. Get to know my dear Aunt Sally, okay? Then you can, if you don't know that, you were absent, okay? So don't be an engineer. Get to know my dear Aunt Sally. And then the moment you get to know her, then maybe you can move on. Then you keep on progressing. Do not bite off more than you can chew. This is equivalent to the parable, remember? Can you with 1,000 soldiers go against 10,000? If you determine you can't go against 10,000, you wave the white flag and come with negotiation. That's a good maneuver because you're all gonna die. If you don't realize it, it's useless fighting the war. Because you fight a war that you can win. If you cannot win, you negotiate. This is what the Gibeonites did. They realized that the anointing and the Lord is on the nation of Israel. And fear had gripped the heart of the citizens of the promised land. So they say, we cannot do this. They beat Ai. They beat Jericho. We cannot beat this. So they say, let's pretend that we are from faraway country. Let's get molded bread. And let's wear worn-out sandals. Let's cheat them. And Joshua was foolish enough because of his laurels of victory, never sought the face of the Lord, his God, and came up with Gibeonite slaves. That is not the will of God. You see? Why? Because these guys, the Gibeonites, know we cannot beat this nation. Where in the world did you see a nation going into war? Nobody dies. That's unheard of. That's unfair. I mean, if these Muslims in Israel is thinking, how in the world did you fight that war? They only were able to get over 200 people as hostages because they set a trap. But during the engagement, Israel starts shooting the leaders one by one. I don't care where you are. You can be in the palace of the Iranian president. You're dead. Who had thought of exploding beepers. I didn't realize they still use beepers. And then exploding cell phones. They're all wrecked with fear. Okay? And so and you can tell that they're suicidal because they're not trying to come up with negotiation. Now, can you, you have a project, you want to build a house, can you, with 50,000 US dollars, finish the thing? Well, if you cannot finish the thing, then save some money. That's why Anne was very discouraged when we were looking for a house, because our money is not enough to buy something at Edgebrook. So she said, she's just using her head. So she said, let's go to Jefferson Park. Our money can afford Jefferson Park. But I challenged her. I said, well, where is God? You know. But look at this. I say, where is God? But I wasn't foolish. I'm hoping for a good neighborhood house for my kids. The goal is not to have the house. People forget this. My goal is not to have the house. My goal is to make sure that my kids goes to a good neighborhood school, because I can't afford a private school. Why is it that I want them to be in a good neighborhood school? Because I want them to be prepared for high school and college. If you go to a rinky-dinky little school whose rating is 2 out of 10, forget dreaming about going to Harvard. You know, you're not going to make it. So we realize that, so we have a long-term goal. But our kids has got to be coached little by little. So in being coached, we realize that in this public school, there is still a lot of problem. So we decided Anne will be the tutor. Why? Because I cannot be a tutor. I'm too impatient for that. My wife has the patience. She screams. She raises her voice. She gets angry. But she is very meticulous about these things, you know. So she could be making more money, but we decided that's not worth it. Because now it's our lives being transferred to our children. We want our children to succeed. So we found a garbage. That house that we have, that's a garbage. I mean, even the realtor won't go inside. People were laughing at us. What happened to Pastor Jose? Some of our deacons people were laughing. What happened to Pastor Jose? Yeah, but I have hope. Now I have skills. I realize, boy, for the next few years, man, my wife lived like crazy. I mean, so some of you will be giving gifts to our kids, and during that time, you can exchange it for cash. We will return it, so we can have cash. Some of the people, hey, Sister Anne, the jacket that what happened? The jacket that I'm not gonna bend. I may not be able to get. Let it get wet, you know. What was I saying? Sister Anne, the jacket that we gave to Joseph, does it fit? Oh, it looks good. It was already returned. It was returned for cash. I don't think you can do it now. But the reason of that, and some people laugh because I think Jessica and Ann pick up some garbage cabinets. Was it Jessica that you were with? Magkuntsaban yung dalawang yan. You know? So they pick up from the trash that was our first cabinet, base cabinet. And you may laugh, but boy, we hope for something better. That house right now is over $1 million worth. Yeah. But we did not bite what we cannot chew. We know exactly. We don't go on annual vacations. We don't go on quarterly breaks. Thank God our kids are just more than happy to be at home whenever there is a break. Oh, we tighten our belts like crazy. Now we have to buy bigger belts, you know. Because the Lord has prospered us. But not then. So we refuse, especially my wife, we refuse to bite off more than what we can chew. We were hoping right. We were dreaming right. We were not foolish about these things. What we have in verse 4 is something that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading. In the Old Testament, they were hoping for a promised land. These were These were farmers. They take care of animals. Now, of course, depending on the history that you're reading, some historians will tell you that these are the border patrol of Egypt. They are actually, because you are looking at Goshen as on the northern part, so it's a protection against the Babylonians, against the Hittites. So they say that the Hebrews are actually warlike people. No, they are farmers. That's what my Bible says. So if you engage them in a constant battle, God has said, they may get discouraged. That's why instead of going to the coastal road along the Mediterranean coast, they went inland. They go around Transjordan and cross Jericho, and then settled on the elevated in the hill territories. Because you go to the valley, all the forces are there, and they may be overwhelmed. Too many enemies, because it's a constant. It's a hub for battles, and these are not war-going people. So what did God do? Well, let's go around, instead of transporting you, the estimate is they should have been traveling for 40 days only. It became 40 years because of the rebellion against God. They have little skirmishes against the Amalekites. They have little battles. What is that? God is honing their skills. Because the purpose of the Lord for this country is to be a global power. Look at Israel right now. That's a global power right there. I mean, Egypt is scared of Israel. Everybody around it. It's a little piece of land. But they have the best air force. They have the best special forces. These people you don't want to go to them head to head. They'll kill you with precision. The best pilots are the Israeli pilots. Why is that? Because the Lord is with them. But nonetheless, God told them, go around. Don't go the coastal road. Why? Because you have Egyptian outposts there. You have Assyrian outposts there. You have Babylonians traveling that. You have spies all over the place. They'll kill you. And they may be overwhelmed. And this is our problem when we dream. We allow ourselves to be overwhelmed. James was telling me that his advisor was telling him he can have 2 bachelor's degree, 3 majors and 1 minor. So I challenged him, can you really do these things? And he started dropping off things. He dropped piano. And then, what did you drop? I forced him to drop courtship. He cannot court. That takes a lot of time. Told him you date somebody, you're on your own. If you have a dream like that, you can't be fooling around like this. You will bite off more than what you can chew, you see. So now it's more realistic. Now he can handle it. He's growing in the English language, and he was asking me, what should I take, Papa? I said, classics will be great. And then he talked to his advisor and found out classics is great. Now your advisor needs to have brain also. I cannot tell him, take gym as a law preparatory. My goodness, what are you going to do? Throw weight plates in the courtroom? Hit their heads? No. I said, you have to be very good in English, because writing is a big part of lawyering. And he followed those advice and talked to other people. That's why, by the way, if you don't know what you're talking about, stop giving it counsel. You'll mess up people's lives. And so he was following it. He's getting to know people. He's getting scholarship. He's getting this. He's getting that. Getting exposures. What is that? You're making your hopes and dreams something that you can grasp. You don't rent a little apartment and begin to hope you will buy a palace tomorrow. You don't do that. You are biting off more than you can chew. That's why you take on projects that you can handle. And then your faith grows. Your faith grows. Your faith grows. Finish elementary on time. Finish high school on time. Then finish college on time. Yeah, other people will laugh at you. They're foolish people. They don't understand visioning. They don't understand imagination. Okay? That's why some people go crazy. They have a credit card. Wow, I've got $5,000 limit. Forget the $5,000 limit. If you can only afford the 1,000, buy 800. Because then we max out our credit cards, we bite off more than what we can chew, we buy new cars we cannot afford, so we are deeply in debt. So a lot of people marry somebody who are drowning in debt, and they are also drowning in debt. So they drown together. You see? When I married my wife, I had no debts. I only got debts after I married my wife. Well, because we have goals. And by the way, sometimes my wife will be very upset with me. Where is the money going? I said, Anne, I don't have vices. And I will ask Anne, when was our last vacation? We never did. When did we buy our last new car? We never did. When did we do this? We never did. So I said, everything is going into the house. I said, relax. We are not wasting any money. You see, we are not, sometimes it looks like we are biting off more than what we can chew, but actually we are managing it very well. So look, we are buying, we have put a down payment in the Philippines, 4.6 million pesos. Yeah, we'll be a little bit slow, but we can handle that. Yeah. And now my dreams are getting bigger again. Really, I told you guys I'm going to buy that lot next door. I may not buy it. It's because I'm not drowning. I can breathe. I can see things. If your problems drown you, you cannot see anything. When your problems becomes the subject of your imagination, you're done. You're not seeing visions anymore. If all you're seeing are problems left and right, you are drowning. You're gasping for breath. You are asking for a rope that you can hold on to. Because all you can imagine are your problems. You wake up thinking about your problems. You sleep thinking about your problems. You are not managing your life well. Okay? So when God gives dreams and hopes in the Bible, something they can grasp. Okay, nation of Israel? Start with believing for your food. That's a little thing. Manna from heaven. Who among the nations of the earth have ever experienced that? But now they are being taught God can provide. That's very important because when you're in the thick of battle and you're surrounded by this problem heavy and needs heavy, supply heavy difficulties, if you don't know how to believe God for His provision, you're going to starve. So God has to teach them. Can you imagine the first thing is learn how to use the clothes in your body without looking for new ones. Simple as that. Some of us can't live with 2 sets of clothes. We want 500 sets. You know. We want a shoe closet with 500 shoes when you only have 1 set of feet. Yeah. You're smiling. Sa ka pa dyan, you know. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to look at some. Yeah, let people laugh at you because you're not dying today. Tomorrow, those people laughing at you will be looking up at you because they will realize, boy, he had gone places, have climbed mountains, and I'm still here in the foothills looking for bread. That's what they're doing, you see. Something that can be grasped. That's what God wants, you know. God added to Abraham that he will make his name great and he will be a blessing. All of this can be grasped. You know what that means? I will make your name great and you'll be a blessing. Well, ask yourself, are you being a blessing to others? I'll make your name great. That means he will give you great honor. That's all it is. You hear the name Abraham, oh, Abraham. You hear the name Isaac, oh. You hear the name Moses, oh. You know, remember the demons on the 7 sons of Sceva who jumped on them? Yeah, Jesus we know. His name is honored by God. Paul we know is highly honored. But who are you? I'm Juan de la Cruz. Who is that? They fear nothing. Do you know me? No, I don't. You see, that's what the demon says. There's no honor. Which means if you're going to dream, allow God to build your name. Allow God to build you honor. You know. What do people think when they think about you? Are you just full of hot air? Are you an air balloon that flies high with nothing inside? Or is there substance in what you say? Okay? Because if what comes out of your mouth is full of substance, people will start listening to you. And by the way, people will make promises to you. There are people who make promises to me and smile. And my wife will say, why do you smile? Oh, that has no substance. The guy is just talking. Yeah, there's no substance. Just allow him to talk. Yeah. So is your dream something that you can grasp? Can you take it one step at a time? Like a Chinese proverb, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Okay? Next. People of hope, living hope that is, are people of vision. Not just vision, but great vision. If your vision is too small, it's not from God, because you can do it without His help. This makes hope, of course, as I said earlier, related to your imagination. Great imagination. The Bible says that He can do for us more than what we can ever think or imagine. That's God. So what is your highest imagination? God's dream is higher than that. That's why all of us, if not most of us, are living below God's dream for us. Yeah, it's below. You think you got it made, you're hallucinating. I mean, some of our imaginations we cannot even achieve. Like how many people say, well, I'm going to have an excellent marriage. You can't even have that. And what God says, I will give you something more than what you can imagine. You know, I joke with my kids that what attracted me to my wife was her legs, you know. White leghorn. She was really, I mean, when I saw her first time, Christmas Eve, she was very pretty. You know. And boy, I was attracted to her. And she loves God. I can tell that. She loves her parents. So I said, I'm happy with this. She works hard. She runs a storefront, you know, a service storefront, and she's doing well. So I thought, wow, this God is good, you know. She's going to be a good wife. I never thought who she was. Yeah. After I married her, I realized I got something that is more than what I paid for, so to speak. What God gave me is a lot more than what I can imagine. She is super in business. She is not. She doesn't want me to buy her things that will make us go bankrupt. Yeah. I bought her roses once, twice, and after that she said, enough. You know. She said, you charge it on the credit card. Which I did, of course. Can you imagine the flowers? That's why I feel jealous right now. My kids can buy her flowers. I cannot buy her flowers. She said, give me the money. And listen, if I give her the money, which I always do, when I give her the money, guess what she used it for? She used it for us. Yeah. I thought I was buying something like this. I bought something like this. That's what you mean by a lot more than what you can imagine. You know. I thought, by the way, that we're just going to be a little church to begin with. I had dreams. I never thought I would pastor this church this long. Because when we started this church, there's a bunch of people who had been to so many pastors. The members initially were wounded. They may not know they're wounded. They were bleeding, you know. Of course, you cannot tell the congregation that. You are all bleeding. That means you lack the spirit of, you don't have the spirit of counsel. You don't have understanding. So some things the Lord will show you, you just keep it to yourself. So I was hoping to just make these people keep on breathing, have a church. Never realized that this is what God will do. We became mission-oriented. We help a lot of churches. You know, I just sent some money to a Samaritan Purse this morning without asking you guys, because we have the money. because they embarked into a project of feeding some of these people in Sudan. And I thought, whoa, that's something that we can help. So just send him money. I never thought we can go global by sending money. Now God is blessing us with a house. Never thought, this is beyond my imagination. Now my dreams are getting bigger. Yeah. Getting bigger. Because when the vision is from the Lord, it's more than what you think or imagine. That is God's vision. Do you think Abraham thought he will be this popular? I don't think it reaches imagination. Do you think that for every sermon that is preached, the possibility is his name will be mentioned? Have you ever heard of a sermon wherein Abraham is never mentioned? That man is long gone to heaven. Every sermon I preach, I don't know how many times I mention Abraham. He never imagined that. If you tell me, oh, he imagined that. Oh, no, he didn't. There's no cell phone in those days. There's no internet. How can he imagine that? But that is precisely what God does to us. He gives us dreams that is way beyond what you can think or imagine. So be honest. If what we are having is below what we are thinking, we're not even scratching anything yet. Because when God, I came here to get my master's degree. God gave me a doctoral degree. You see what I'm saying? It's beyond my imagination. I never thought of pioneering a church here. Well, I pioneered a church here, and I'm going to pioneer another one in the Philippines soon. Never imagined that. That was a good sound effect, huh? Okay, so I was thrown up. Let's go to the next point, okay? Musk, as a little boy, his mother said, Musk as a little boy, he was already dreaming. How about sending satellites and having electric cars? I think in high school, he will be dating somebody. You know, high school kids and freshman colleges, these are people that are just foolish most of the time. You know, they find a girl, they find a guy, and they go gaga. What's the masculine? They go gago, you know. So this is just what happened. Musk will be dating somebody, and so he lost his girlfriends because they'll be dating, and sooner or later he'll be talking about, how about a car run by electricity? You're dating a 15-year-old girl. What does she know? What? I cannot even solve my algebra problem. You're talking about electric cars? This guy, he wants to cover the atmosphere with his satellites. He has the most number of satellites, more than any other country combined. Can you imagine the U.S. government sent somebody in the space station they could not trace, and now Musk has just launched something that will... This is a guy who is worth over $500 billion. But his mom said, since he was a little boy, he's off. Well, maybe we're the ones who are off. You know, he's autistic. He's off. Why is he thinking about... This guy is thinking about going to Mars. Trump made a speech in I was about to say Malacanang, in the White House. And he said, we're going to go to Mars. And of all the people in the crowd, this guy became a little boy. Yes, he said that. Well, this is the richest man in the world. He said, yes. Because you're talking about going to Mars. Who thinks about... Have you ever thought of going to Mars? Maybe you thought of going to Pastor Mars' house, but that's all the Mars that you can get, you know. I mean, this is something else. And a vision is something that will overtake you. A lot of people say, well, I have a vision. Yeah, but you keep doing other things. When a person has a vision, this vision overtakes him. It consumes him. He feeds on it. He dreams about it. That's his waking subject. That's his sleeping subject. And so if you just think about something every birthday, that is not a vision. But true hope is something that consumes you. Okay? Now, because of that, this makes it related to something that we love. Vision is something that you love. Or someone that we love. Why? Because hope ultimately is fueled by the vision of your beloved. Did you get that? Hope ultimately is fueled by your beloved. I forgot what I said earlier. So it's now revised version. Vision of the beloved, okay? Okay? Thinking of what we love gives us the will to survive or to make it. How many prisoners of war, how many people stranded on an island kept moving on because they're thinking about their loved ones? I'm about to be married. Somebody is waiting for me. I have kids. When my father was shot, was the one watching him in the hospital. He said, Jose, I have to recover. I said, why? He said, well, because your younger siblings are still in elementary. They need to finish college. Vision of the beloved. Then after that, it evolved. He says, Jose, I have to survive. I said, why? Because I have to kill the one who shoot me. First, he was thinking about sending us all to school, and he said, that guy cannot live. I said, why? I said, can you imagine me working in Divisoria and have to watch my back all the time? Maybe he will come back and shoot me. He said, he's going to die first. That's our conversation in the hospital. Because for him, how can he send his younger kids to school if he's dead? So now I realize now my father has the will to live because his younger children still needs to finish his school. What a motivation. You are not a true dreamer. You are not a true hopeful person if you don't love somebody. If you are not a person of love. That's why the ultimate object of our hope is Jesus Christ. And the ultimate object of our love is Jesus Christ. Why is that? Because ultimately, every human being that we love will die if we don't die first. So after they die, some people lose hope. But if your hope is in God, if the object of your love is God, then it's endless. So do we love someone? Or do we have a beloved that we can just get lost in perpetual contemplation? Now, because I'm a man who knows how to love, I'm telling you, when I was first dating my wife, that lady captured all of my imagination. Yeah. To the extent that I never thought I'll be able to live without her. I hope she thinks the same way about me. Ooh, hallelujah. Let's go home now. Okay? So, and you know that you love somebody because you are captured by that object. If you love cars, all you see is cars. Foolish you, you know. You will hug your car more than you will hug your wife. And some men are like, that's your preoccupation. Yeah. But when you love somebody, that loved one will overtake you. Okay? It will make you want to live. It will make you want to survive. That's why it's a living hope. Because we love someone so much. Who is your beloved? That is a great fuel of our hope. And so the only real answer that is actually God. You fall in love with God, He becomes the object of your affection. Well, everything fades. You see. So, you have to be overtaken by a vision and fueled by love. Next, let me just continue the last point. People of hope love God. If you are a person of hope, the living hope in 1 Peter 1, it follows that you have to have this this amazing love for God. So let me ask you this question. Do you love God? My goodness. That is a hopeless answer. Do you love God? That's a little better, okay? Our love for God is the most imperishable and undefiled thing in the world. Why? Because the things and the people that we love on earth, 100% guarantee, they will disappoint us. Yeah. A person who looks at the person he loves and say, "You don't disappoint, you never disappointed me," is either blind or lying. Yeah. Well, maybe because your love for that person overtakes you, that nothing that he or she does disappoints you. But because we are imperfect, we disappoint each other. Okay? So now, what it means is, if every relationship and love in our lives disappoints, and one day they will all end. Between me and my wife, either I go first or she goes first. But either way, this love song that we have is going to end. Yeah. One day, God will take me home and I will be taken away from my children. So their only chance to love me is while I'm alive. The moment I die, they can give all the eulogy that they want. I'm not listening. Okay? I told you some of the biggest lie that I've heard is in eulogies. Oh, my dad is... Yeah, when he is alive, you don't visit him. Stop lying. You know? So, if Jesus tarry, we will all part ways. I hope you know that, right? The moment we finalize, we complete the purchase of the property. I mean, May 13, I'm starting my first seminar in that building. May 11, I'm dedicating that thing. Okay? So May 13 begins, so I'll be there a lot of times. So that means I'm still going to be the pastor, but our relationship will somehow evolve. Okay? Those of you who are tired of looking at me every Sunday will have a good sigh of relief the moment that happens. Yeah. This will all change. Because that's the nature of every human. The cars that you love, they will rust. You know that. The house that you work hard so much for, that a lot of times we even miss the church, that thing is very demanding. It's going to need maintenance. And if you are not careful, it will take all of your time. It happens to a lot of people. Yeah, it can destroy you. That's so you can invest your love on that house or on that car. You invest your love on God and God alone. Are you listening? You look at me like you're in a shock. I've said this so many times already. So everyone you love will one day die if you don't die first. By the way, this includes every club. You know, John is a member of this sports club, very expensive. I'm ready to kill him. You know, one day, John, that club will go bankrupt. Yeah. All clubs go bankrupt. When I first came here to the U.S., the first club I was a part of was it's a rec center. It's a rec center in Virginia Beach. I pay something like, I think, $9 or $20 per year, something like that. It's gone. Yeah. And then, I came here, I joined Bally's. Were you part of Bally's? Yung Bally's, ang nangyari dyan, nabali. Yan, wala na. Yeah. And so now I'm part of LA Fitness, and I work out with a lot of unfit people. Yeah. One day, LA Fitness will be gone. That's just the nature of it. All the societies, all the institutions. Some schools are no longer here. Harvard, all of these things are no longer as prestigious as before. You know that. They're just well noted for their past, no longer for their present. Everything goes away. You see, that's the nature. That's why you cannot invest your love on any of these things. You cannot. They are all just passing shadows. They're bubbles. They're mists at best. The only thing that is eternal is God Himself. Amen. So you invest your love in Him. And the faith fathers have realized that. This is why our pilgrimage on earth is a gift. This helps us see that having all this world-related stuff is not a living hope. And do you remember the illustration of Brother Willie when he was in, I think, high school? Because we were in high school when Adidas came in the scene. I mean, if you are wearing Adidas in my high school days, sikat siya, Adidas yan eh. You know? So Brother Willie told us that he finally was able to save some money, and he bought this brand new Adidas shoes. Now, Brother Willie is sometimes I don't know how he thinks differently. If something is new, he doesn't want to use it. I mean, because he cherished that. He buys me this very delicious moon cake from Hong Kong and somewhere else. But so he will buy these tin cans, beautiful tin cans. He will give me the hopia. He will keep the tin cans. Why? He is attached to these tin cans. He doesn't like the hopia. He doesn't like I like the moon cake. You can have the tin cans, okay? But he likes it. He's nostalgic like that. So he told us this story that he took care of these Adidas shoes. He was in high school. Well, what happened when you're in high school? You're still getting bigger. So one day he decided, I'm going to wear it. So he wore it. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit anymore. Yeah, that's what happened. That's why the object of your love should be something that is eternal. Because all of this, all the institutions, all the things that you see, one lesson that you will learn is they're not living hope. When I was still in the Philippines, I have a friend, he's also a pastor. We went to Binondo, Chinatown, because both of us are carpenters. We were looking for some tools, hand tools, hammer, saw. Our funds are very limited. So we went to this reputable store and we spent tons of money to buy a hammer and a handsaw. I mean, during the time, if you own a Solingen handsaw, that's very prestigious, It's Germany and all. Now I have a Solingen handsaw. I'm going to bring it to the Philippines so they can sharpen it. Now we have all kinds of electric, battery-operated saw. And really, if you say all those tools are very good, it's just nostalgia. The ones that we have right now are super good. What's this? Who is this? Michelle. What am I going to say? I forgot. What's that the thing? The laser. That garbage. Can you imagine you put it in a computer program and that thing, that's it? Before you carve that thing. And it's beautiful. Huh? Before you will have to carry portfolios of pictures. Now it's in your cell phone. And it's super accurate. It never fades. Your phone can break, but that picture is there. But I don't have enough storage. You put it in the cloud. Where's the cloud? Who cares? They just call it cloud. But the technology is so much. So when they say those things are better, no, what we have right now is better. My wife bought me a chair that massages you. You sit down, it massages you. Before you have to hire people. Now you just have to buy stuff. And it doesn't complain. You can hear it, it doesn't complain. It just keeps massaging. right? And you can complain, it's too strong. It will not move. Just keep massaging it. Constant pressure doesn't lose strength. Yeah. What we have is a lot better. But they all pass it when there's no electricity, you know. That's why it's a gift. You ultimately begin to appreciate these things with this focus. They all are blessings from God because they'll all pass away. Some of you bought some wonderful clothes and you outgrew it. And you keep blaming the clothes. It became small. No. You became big. Yeah. And you can look at it, adore it, you can no longer use it. All pass away. Therefore, they all end ultimately in futility or in death. Have you ever stored some food in your refrigerator because you like it so much, you forgot it's in the rep, then you find it one day, it's full of molds. They all became vain. According to C.S. Lewis, he who has God and everything else has no more than he who has God only. Yeah. Meaning, if I have God, you can be a billionaire. If you don't have God, you don't have more than what I have. What a perspective from C.S. Lewis. Yeah. So the moment you have God, you have everything. And that is what we miss the most. We prioritize things that don't advance us or move us forward. And we ignore Him who can give us gigantic steps. Yeah. You know, when I came here, I thought, man, I lost all of my contacts. I thought that way. Because I was here for 8 years, never going back to the Philippines. Before I have the biggest, how do you call that, directory of ministerial contacts in the Philippines. Southern Baptist gave me all their contacts. The Assemblies of God gave me all their contacts. Church of God gave me all their contacts. I have all kinds of independent organizations. The Methodists, some districts of the Methodist Church, I have it. I have it in hard copy. I send letters to all of them. Counting during the 80s, over 20,000 was sending them letters. We have big seminars, send them letters. So I said to myself, man, I lost all of that. You know, but God told me to come here and study. When I came back, I realized I never lost anything. Yeah. Because some of my students became pastors of big churches now and they know me. You know, some of them became bishops. They control others, but they cannot control me. They are hesitant because I was their teacher. I never realized I never lost anything. I have more today than before because God can give you big steps. Sometimes we want to step ahead of God. Look, I have 2 houses. God just gave us big steps. Some of us have to work very hard to get 2 houses or even finish 1 house. I have 2 right now. And now under my control, I'll have 3. Because the thing is going to control the thing in the Philippines is me, not you. It's me. You're not going to be traveling every month. I mean, I'll be excited to host you there, but you don't have all the money to travel every month to the Philippines. So basically, I'm controlling the whole thing. It's a big house. So God has blessed me with it. Gave me big steps in that direction. Because my hope is in God. I never ask for these things. I only ask that I'll be able to pass on the revelation that God gave me. That's what I ask. After I'm done with that, I'm going home. You see? And God saw it fit that I'll have these things to support what I'm doing. Some of us work so hard to get things. Wrong focus. Have God, and you will have it all. Because God is the ultimate object of our hope. Living hope also is an inheritance in our relationship with God. It's an inheritance. Say inheritance. Going back to our text, verses 2 to 5. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, because of His great mercy has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you. You are being guarded by God's power through faith for salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. Christian hope is different from any kind of hope because Christian hope promises an inheritance we do not deserve. Okay? Uh, if you are a child, like my kids may think that they deserve what I have. They don't. I love them, they're my kids. They don't. I can sell all my houses, I can spend it all. They can do nothing about it. Foolish will be a child who think they deserve it. No, you don't deserve it. Yeah. I like that Cosby show. Who is that guy? No, I forgot his name. But they're all black. I was about to say the black guy. They're all black. And remember that Theo, right? He was telling his dad, Dr. Huxtable, Dad, I pity my classmates. They are poor. And Dr. Huxtable looked at him and said, Son, you have nothing. What do you mean they are poor? You're also poor. You have nothing. I just allow you to live in this house and eat my food. But you have nothing. And I don't know if Theo got it. They have nothing. My kids have nothing. Of course, they are in my will, but they don't deserve it. They cannot demand it. That's the nature of inheritance. Anne don't deserve the house that she was given. You know? And I have that perspective. That's why when she was being given that $700,000, I said, no, don't do it, because it is more important for me that the daughter gets saved in the future. I don't want her to hate pastors' wives. Then she will go to hell. That's just $700,000. Yeah. That's my perspective. I don't deserve it. Whatever your parents earn, you don't deserve it. You don't work for it. Now, a righteous man will leave inheritance to his children's children, but you don't deserve it. That's the nature of inheritance. You don't deserve it. Now, let's get that settled. Now, having said that, it makes our hope different from others because we do not deserve this inheritance. Now, let's compare our normal hopes, because some of our normal hopes is really very different. For example, you hope to have something, say a career, okay? You want to be, what career? You want to be a cook. A what? Stay-at-home daughter. That's a nightmare, okay? She said her dream is stay-at-home daughter. That's not a dream, it's a nightmare, okay? Yeah, it's a nightmare, okay? Say you hope to be good in cooking. So now you go to a culinary arts school. I don't know how long it is. How long is a culinary arts? 2 years, 1 year. Just learn from your mom how to cook. You'll get it, you know. So you spend money, you work hard for it, right? And then you excel in your class. You got the top honors when you graduated. You are hired by a good restaurant and you learn some more. And then you were promoted. You know what you say? I deserve it. Because you did. You went to school, you paid for it, you worked hard for it. You excel above all of your peers. So you say, I deserve it. Therefore, it will not last because you deserve it. You see that? What if you lose your sense of taste? There's a sickness like that. You lose your sense of taste. How are you going to cook? You see, there are so many things that can happen because you deserve it. You want to be a good singer, so you go to music school, you exercise your voice. You want to be wealthy, so you invest one business at a time, and when you become wealthy, you deserve it. This results in us believing we deserve what we are hoping for. We deserve our promotion. And certainly in a world of competition, you may say, well, I deserve to be promoted. But really, don't. The business owner can promote anybody that he wants. You think you deserve it, but really you don't. If you don't like it, you go to another job. But we feel it's very unfair. Now I found out in the top executive level, when these rich people are hiring, they are looking for somebody that they can trust, not necessarily the most skilled, because that is a trust level already. Okay? That's why you find some underlings that are more talented than you are, and you're not being promoted. And you become bitter. But because we are so used to, I deserve it. Really? God gave me my wife because I don't deserve her. Her suitors are. Every time we talk about her past, oh, I dated this general's son, you know. And she comes to me and she doesn't say anything, you know. She's wondering, why in the world did I like you? I'm wondering about that too, you know. I think God has to blind her first. We are so used to saying, I deserve it, but not in God. Christian hope is different. You cannot earn this. Our hope is purely based in the act of God's saving mercy. Yeah. Why, why in the world did God call me of all people? I mean, if I'm God, I'm not even going to call myself, you know. But if you begin to think, you're so good, God called you, you just lost it. You just lost it. You don't deserve it. Okay? Because our inheritance is based on His mercy. Therefore, Christian hope understand that there is misery in our deserved inheritance. Okay, you earn your promotion, you will find yourself in great misery. Why? Because you look back, there are so many people crawling behind you, wanting to pull you down. Because you deserve it. You know, by the way, you observe the speeches of Michael Jordan. I mean, his Hall of Fame speech is one of the most egotistical speeches you'll ever hear in an athlete. But he's aging now. Listen to him. There is a different tone in his voice. Because he's the GOAT, right? Now he's saying, that's not a good comparison. He said, I never played with Jerry West. He said, I never played with Will Chamberlain. I never played with Bill Russell. He said, why will you call me a GOAT? He said, that's relative. Every generation. Now he's even saying, Kerry could be Stephen Curry could be the GOAT. Why? Because he's aging. He's realizing, yeah, you may think records will not be broken. It's going to be broken. You think Tom Brady's football record of how many Super Bowl rings, it can be broken easily now. Why? You can't touch a football player anymore. You touch him a little bit, foul, especially a quarterback. Not in those days. Not in the days of Joe Montana. You know, not in the days of some of those football. Different now. You see, so that they keep protecting the quarterback. Somebody can win 10 Super Bowl rings in the future. It can happen. Yeah, but we became a culture that thought we deserve things. Therefore, if you keep thinking you deserve it, you may not get anything from God because you deserve it. God only gives on the basis of His mercy. God will never say, I am going to call DJ to do the following things because of this. No. He will say, I will call DJ to do certain things because I love her and I just want to bless her. Because ultimately, I'm telling you, I look at the blessings of the Lord in my life. My neighbor, my Mexican neighbor will always say, oh, you're lucky. No, I'm not. I will say, I am blessed. Because you look at everything that God is giving me, I don't deserve any of it. I was just a squatter boy, okay? That's me. Hoping to survive. I don't deserve any of this. Oh, but I learned something in my pilgrimage. I've learned how to tap into the mercy of God. I still laugh to this day. I will be going to bed and we'll be laughing. Because who would have thought, I thought I announced years ago on a Saturday that we're going to have a building in the Philippines. Before that Saturday ends, somebody gave me $1 million. And then somebody gave me $1 million. Then I got jealous. We gave $1 million. Then a family started giving little by little, gave $1 million. And then when I sent on to the Philippines, a family gave $1 million. You think I deserve any of that? You gotta be kidding me. But I tell the Lord, keep it coming. Because I don't deserve it. You see? It's purely based on God's mercy. So if you think you deserve something, you better change your mind. Aspire for something that is from God. The only thing that God wants is for you to love Him. Make Him the object of your love, the object of your living hope, and depend on Him totally. Work as much as you can. But He is the source and He is everything to you. The moment that happens, God will begin to give you something you don't deserve. And how glorious it is, Glorious it is. Amen? Well, it's 8:02. We have to end sometime. We'll just continue next week. Did you learn something tonight? Okay. Let's all stand. Hallelujah.